welcome to my channel. My name is Marisha and this is my second video now that I've come back to YouTube. And I was talking about Colourpop yesterday, so I'm going to keep talking about Colourpop, and I'm going to do my eyes, do a look with the California Love palette that I got yesterday. So that's this one here. And just chat to you guys a little bit about what I'm doing on here and how I started getting interested in makeup. I was never one to wear a lot of makeup when I was younger, not at all. And I only really learned how to do my makeup when I was an actor, partially by experimenting myself, but mostly by watching what other makeup artists did when they were making my face up, and I learned a lot. I've been very, very fortunate to work on a lot of big films and have some really amazing makeup artists do my makeup, and I've picked up so many great tips from them. But I still didn't wear makeup day to day as a general rule until lockdown. Yes, this is a lockdown symptom. And not long into lockdown, I was going a little bit stir crazy, and I decided to start painting my face, and it just took as a way of expressing myself artistically, as a way of being kind to myself, and of course I started watching videos and I started buying makeup, and I've been really enjoying the journey so far. And so, because we're still, we're not in lockdown anymore, but we're sort of still in lockdown, I was hoping that this might give me a little bit of a something to talk to. I miss talking to my friends. I live in Scotland. I used to travel down to London at least once a month to visit my friends down there, and I haven't been down there since February, and I'm just missing that kind of sociableness. But let's take a look at what we're going to do makeup wise. Now, do I know what I'm doing? Well, the answer is both yes and no. I'm not awful at makeup. I'm not wonderful at makeup. I'm very much still learning. I have a very random assortment of brushes that I haven't quite got the hang of yet, some of which are very cheap and a bit dubious, and some of which are really, really nice. What I will say is I've been buying a lot of stuff on eBay carefully to make sure as much as possible that I get genuine stuff. And one thing I managed to buy on eBay is a bunch of Zoeva brushes, and I am really, really pleased with them. I think they're my primary go-to brush. Another little surprising thing was, though, that I dug out, I am a big Harry Potter fan. Most of what you can see behind me is Harry Potter stuff. And I had a set of cheap Harry Potter wand brushes that I'd never used. So I dug those out, and actually, surprisingly, the brushes themselves are really quite good. The only drawback is, when you put them in your brush palette, they take up loads of room because of the big bits at the bottom of them, and also the connection, the glue that holds the brush, which is probably made by someone completely different to the wands, is a bit suspicious, and a lot of them it falls off, which is a little bit annoying. But the quality of the brushes, surprisingly good. Now, what am I going to put on my face? At the moment, I have toner, moisturiser, a tiny bit of concealer just here, and on my eyelid here, and a little bit here and here, because I don't know about you, but I always find this little bit of skin just under my mouth seems to be a little bit discoloured. I don't know why. You would think maybe I'm spilling food down my face, but I can actually eat without spilling food down my face. But let's take a look. So I've no foundation on, no blush, nothing like that. It's just my face. And this is a very warm palette, and I think I'm going to go in with... It's so much harder to do when you feel like people are watching you. This is called the Bay, and I'm going to have to dig out my hand mirror because there's no way I can do this just looking into here, so I'll use my hand mirror. And I'm going to just start putting this down here. One of the things I'm going to have to get the hang of is chatting while doing makeup. Normally this is a completely silent affair for me in my bathroom, which is much better lit, but better backgrounds in here. Oh, and you see I've discovered the brightness setting on my camera, so that did help quite a lot. This is nice. It's a nice warm sort of transitiony shade. Look at me picking up all the words from the makeup artist. Just laying it down into my crease to make that nice and warm. There we go. And this is an interesting. It's an interesting palette. It's got darks. Some of the Colourpop palettes are a little limited because they're intentionally not meant to be just the only palette you use at once. This one is one of their slightly bigger ones with 12 shades in it rather than 9. It does have some dark browns, so I won't have to reach elsewhere for the dark colours, but it doesn't have any very, very pale colours. And I might use a highlighter just to go a bit brighter with some stuff. But let's go with Highway 1. And let's just get this into the side here. So as I said, I've been buying some stuff obviously from the genuine merchants. The Colourpop stuff comes directly from Colourpop. But I have also been sourcing a lot of second-hand makeup on eBay because I love eBay. I love the act of looking for a bargain. I love figuring out what things are worth and whether I'm getting a good deal. I love just the act of searching for things, just sitting and going through the lists of things and searching. It reminds me, this is a kind of odd comparison, but it reminds me of when you go to the beach and you look for stuff. You go to the beach and you pick up little stones, little shells. I really like crab pincers. I pick up crab pincers. The act of searching, the act of hunting and gathering almost is I find very enjoyable. How's that looking? It's interesting to see how it looks on the camera as opposed to how it looks here, because obviously it looks incredibly different. Let's go in with a little bit of a lighter orange. This is Sequoia. Let's just take that over the edge of that there. There we go. I mean, as you can see, these are going on really nicely. Very smooth. I have a habit of ignoring my under eye, so I'm going to go straight in with the under eye now as well so that I don't ignore it. I'm never quite sure what brush to use for that, for the under eye, because I'm still kind of getting the hang of it. I'm going to take Highway 1, the darker colour, and take that along the lower lash line. Here we are. And let's try it through. So yeah, I buy a lot on eBay, and I also sell a lot on eBay, because one thing I discovered when I got into Harry Potter stuff, well, I've loved Harry Potter for ages, but when I got back into it and started collecting things, I discovered that I can fund my collecting of things by buying and selling on eBay in order to, I mean, quite frankly, the crazy amount of Harry Potter stuff in my room, if I had only paid for all that and not bought and sold stuff, I would be completely broke. I think I'm going to put my eyebrows in now just so I can balance this look out a little bit. I've got a few options for eyebrows. I used to use Body Shop eyeshadow palette that I've had for ages, an eyebrow palette, this little one. As you can see, I've not used this side at all because it's too orange for me, but this was my go-to eyebrow colour from the Body Shop. And then a friend of mine bought me this Little Bare Minerals palette, which I find incredibly useful. If you just want one little palette to do natural looks with, this is a great palette. It is called The Truth. It's by Bare Minerals. But what I've also discovered recently is actually the colours, for me anyway, the colours are quite good as eyeshadow colours too. But I've finally got some eyebrow pencils, which I think when I was younger I didn't do because I think it was pretty hard to get blonde eyebrow pencils. And I am super blonde, as you can see, and have virtually no eyebrows at all. Let's get right in there to focus on my non-eyebrows. And so really doing it with a dark pencil is very, very difficult because it just ends up looking really artificial. and I'm, I don't know, I mean, quite heavy eyebrows are in at the moment, but being as blonde as me, you really would have to go incredibly heavy with the makeup and dark with the makeup, I think, to make it look natural. Oh, the sun came out. Sorry about that. The sun came out for a bit and screwed up the settings. It's gone back to normal now. To make it look at all natural. So what I do at the moment mostly is I'll use this. This is a Too Faced Blondie Brow Pencil, which is a great colour for me, because I'm a very ashy blonde. There's not any really warm tones in my hair at all. So yeah, finding that fine line between having eyebrows so you don't look weird and not having some sort of strange thing sitting on your face that just looks absolutely unnatural is tricky. It's even trickier to do while you're trying to talk to a camera. Let's take a look at the lighter colours here and go in with some of them. I still haven't quite figured out what brush to use for smaller detail stuff, because I'm so drawn to using my Morphe brushes for it, not my Morphe brushes, sorry, my Zoeva brushes for everything. But I don't actually have a particularly small Zoeva brush. Let's use this one. This is one of my Harry Potter brushes. And there's a lovely gold here called Cruisin'. I'm gonna put on now. Let's see, into the mix. That's nice. I do find, I don't know if it's because I'm very pale, but I sometimes find it difficult to get the lighter colours to really evenly sit. Of course, the other thing I've come across since I started doing makeup is, you know, I discovered Jeffree Star, and you know, it came free with something. I discovered Jeffree Star, and then about 3 days later I discovered that we weren't supposed to use Jeffree Star anymore. So you will have to forgive me, because I never got to use Jeffree Star before everybody fell out with him. I don't follow him. I'm not interested in the drama channels. But I can't help but pick up some of it because everybody is talking about it. So I am using Jeffree Star. I am buying Jeffree Star because I have literally just gone on a makeup journey and I really like the makeup, and I want to have a chance to experience it. Some of it I'm buying new, a lot of it I'm buying second hand. So, but that's just the way it is. This is looking very lovely in gold. A little bit of smokiness on the side here. Yeah, what you do is just darkening it a little touch here, a little bit of that, and a little bit of that. I feel like I take quite a long time to do my makeup, but I think it's really, I never really noticed how long it took until I started trying to video it, and then I was like, wow, this is taking ages. Right, yeah, look at the darkness it descends. I got this little highlighter from Morphe. It's a high impact lit highlight. It's just a little, and I find it's quite a good go-to highlighter when I don't want to do anything too complicated. I just want a little bit of highlight. It is a warmer toned one. It's a yellow toned one, but as I say, I've been doing a lot of warm colours recently, so that's quite helpful. Let's just get a little bit of that along the brow bone. Although I haven't left much room for it in this one. I don't know how people fit so much makeup on their eyelids. Like, I'm sure my eyes aren't any smaller than anybody else's, but I can't seem to fit the sheer amount of eyeshadow that other people fit on there. That's my cat. She's very noisy. Where are you, Couscous? She is the loudest cat. So yeah, I quite often use a highlighter for the inner corner if I'm doing a more subtle look. I'm not really sure what even counts as subtle. Because I never used to wear makeup at all. Everything looks made up. Couscous, will you be quiet? She's so loud. Okay. Maybe we take a little bit of a slightly orangey colour. Just under here. This is Sequoia that I'm using. I find the under eye so difficult to get the... I feel like I'm just filling in the bags under my eyes sometimes, and I'm pretty sure that's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Let's get some eyeliner in here now. I have a go-to eyeliner for when I'm doing these colours, and it's a MAC one I've had. I think I might have bought it on eBay years ago actually. It's a MAC Super Slick Liquid Eyeliner in really tiny writing that I can't read. I've got my glasses here. Defiantly Feline, it's called. It's kind of a browny coppery colour, and I really love these. I mean, this is ancient, so it probably doesn't go on anywhere near as well as it would have new. But I have 3 of these in different colours, and they're really nice. Now, eyeliner is another thing that I'm still definitely very much getting the hang of. It is tricky. I tend to do a flick because I think my eyes are quite downturned at the sides, so I do tend to flick them out. And I never get the flicks balanced. I don't know. I mean, sorry, but my face is not the same on both sides, so... I think it always seems to end up lower on this side than it does on the other side. We're getting there, we're getting there. Let's pop some mascara on. It's being as blonde as me does make some things tricky. So when it comes to mascara and eyeliner, it's so easy to end up with sort of obvious white bits at the base of your eyelashes. I mean, obviously that's not going to show on camera, it's only going to show when I peer in the mirror. And I do have fairly shit eyelashes. They're very fine like the rest of my hair. They're quite light coloured. And they're not particularly long either. And I haven't found a go-to mascara yet. I've got a few that I use that are alright, but I've never found one yet that I've gone, wow, that's the mascara for me. And I have even less eyelashes on the bottom. I do try and put a tiny bit of mascara on them, but they're so little there to try and catch. I quite regularly get it everywhere and then have to clean it all off again. As you can see, my very unimpressive eyelashes. Can you even see them? Now to me, in this mirror, this looks quite nice. I'm fairly happy with it. It's a little too low down there, but that's fine. I'm going to take a little concealer and just run it along to make sure it doesn't go down, the makeup doesn't go down further than I want it to. Just to tidy that line up a little bit. And I'll do the same on this side. And let's take an eyeliner. I've got some new ones. This I've been using this one quite a lot with these colour looks. It's Rimmel Scandaleyes Gilded Gold. And just get it in near the waterline, just to darken that line up a little bit. And making the bottom line of eyeliner and the top line of eyeliner kind of measure up, because I don't know, if I bring the top line right the way down to where the bottom line meets, then my eyes go droopy too much. So I'm never quite sure what I'm supposed to do with that little corner. Am I supposed to leave it empty? Am I supposed to fill it in? That will do. I found I picked up some stuff from Morphe when I was first starting out, and I found this really useful. It's just a basic blush palette. It's their Cool Pro 8C, and I've used almost every colour in this one. There's only maybe one colour that I don't really use, and it's one of the darker ones, because I have a couple of MAC blushers that are darker, more intense, that I tend to use if I'm wanting a darker look. I'm going to go with quite a light one for this. This one is Driven. And you don't need, I don't need much blush to look like I'm wearing blush, because I do have very fair skin. I mean, my skin is actually slightly tanned at the moment. Yes, shock horror. So, I mean, you can imagine how pale I am most of the time. How's that looking? See, when I look at it in this, it doesn't look even. But when I look at it in my mirror, it, maybe not, no. A little bit more on this side. Try and even that up. And then a little bit of my highlighter, just here. And let's talk about age. Yes, let's talk about age. So, I am older than I look, but then a lot of women are. I think we have funny ideas about what certain ages look like. I'm in my mid-40s. I'm fortunate to have really pretty good skin. It's genetic. I didn't do anything. It just happened. I have gotten into skincare lately because of the videos that I'm watching, and I am really enjoying now putting various lotions and potions on my face, but they are not responsible for the current state of affairs, because I wasn't using hardly anything but a bit of moisturiser until very recently. Oh, this is my dog. Copper, say hello. Look, this is my dog. This is my dog, Copper. He's the best dog. Are you the best dog? Yes. And now he's going to want to come and sniff everything. It's not really practical, Copper. Can you go lie down, sweetheart? What was I talking about? Age, yes. But my skin is aging, and I do notice differences. I do. There is definitely less elastic than it used to be. It's definitely lumpier and bumpier than it used to be. Although I've had this since I was a tiny kid. Like, my primary school photographs have that lump in them still. I think I don't know about that one. There's a few things that I've seen that the sun's kind of brought up. I'm doing pretty well. I notice it with makeup. I notice mostly the lines under here, because that's where you get makeup caught quite easily. And the fact that my eyelids are a bit droopier than they used to be, which can make them harder to work with. But overall, I'm very fortunate. But I'm I've started taking my skin a bit more seriously. Partly, well, mostly just because it's nice. It's a nice thing to do for myself. To put nice lotions and serums and toners on my skin, and I'm very much enjoying the process. Right, I'm pretty much finished. I haven't done any lipstick, but I didn't bring any lipstick through, so I'm going to put a wee bit of bronzer on. This is just Makeup Academy bronzer. I bought it because it was super, super cheap, and I wasn't really sure what I wanted on the bronzer front, and what I tend to do is just use a little bit around the edges, just because I am so pale, to just add a little bit of something, dimension. Just to make me look a little bit less like I have never seen sunlight. But it's a very light bronzer, and I use it very lightly. And that's going to be it for just now. Obviously there's lots more that I could do, but this video is getting really, really long. This is the final eye look, which I can guarantee you looks way better when it's not on this camera. I promise, I do. And that was, and I said that eye look's entirely done using California Love by Colourpop. I used this colour, and I used this colour for the light gold, and I used Laguna as the base. No, I didn't. I used the Bay as the base, and I used a tiny bit of this orangey Sequoia. Thank you much for hanging out and listening, and I'll try and do another video tomorrow.